That's right. That's right. You're looking at 3 winners right on the screen. Saquon Barkley, winner. Josh Allen, winner. Joseph Cigar Smoking Burrow and that Bengal defense, winning. If you're not first, you're last. Sam is first in the building, so everybody else is last. Peanut butter and waivers, last. Peanut butter and cups, last. Mealy, last. Blind Larry, last. Sam first. If you're not first, you're last. The Fantasy Football Show begins now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios, it's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
What is going on, good people? We had such a good slate of games. This entire playoffs has been really, really exciting. There's been some ups and downs. There's been some comebacks. There's been some close games. We had Joseph Cigar Smoking Burrow, Josh Allen kind of creeping along. Like, these were close games. These shouldn't have been as close as they were. But that's what makes the playoffs exciting. That's what makes the playoffs absolutely amazing to watch. That's what makes all these players that play in the National Football League so good. They are NFL players. These are NFL teams. Anybody can win on any given Sunday, and we almost saw the Miami Dolphins at certain points in the game almost knock off the Buffalo Bills. We almost saw our boy Joseph Cigar Smoking Burrow, toy around with the idea of maybe losing in Wild Card Weekend. We saw the Paper Tiger Minnesota Vikings, who we kind of knew they were Paper Tigers. They won a lot of very, very weird games. They've got a lot of talent. We love JJ. Cousins has been playing out of his mind. Cook is kind of on the decline potentially. I'm not drafting him in 2023. You guys shouldn't be drafting him in 2023. But there's a whole lot of fantasy football implications here for 2023. There's a whole lot of playoff discussion, playoff fantasy football strategy that we need to talk about and discuss. Now, if you play Underdog Fantasy, promo code SMITTY, where Underdog will match up to $100 in your first deposit. Just click the link in the description. I'll drop the link and pin it in the live chat right now. But if you're playing Underdog, your team's already set. You don't redraft or anything like that. So in that case, when you're playing in a situation like that, let's see here. Let me load up let me drop this in the live chat here. Here's the link to Underdog Fantasy promo code SMITTY. Please click that link. And play Underdog Fantasy. Let me pin it real quick. Here it is. It is now pinned. There we go. Message pinned. They'll give you up to $100. So if you want to do like a week, like a divisional round fantasy football draft with 12 other people and keep it small, you can do that. You want to do the over-under parlays, you can do that. Or you put 5 players on a ticket like your boy Smitty did last night when we were talking and we had the freebie. Remember the freebie bet? And Ron Navy said to drop a max on it. I didn't. So kudos to Ron Navy for being right on that and bad on me for not dropping the max on it. But I put $10 on it at the bottom. You can see the bottom right corner. I put $10 on this 5-player parlay. And I put 0.5 TDs Barkley. He scored 2. I put 0.5 yards for Diggs. That was the freebie that they gave us on Underdog Fantasy. Promo code SMITTY. Okay, link pinned in the live chat and in the description. It was a freebie. They gave us one freebie. It was all you had to get was 1 yard. Diggs got that, so I landed that one, obviously. Josh Allen, 2.5 TDs. He threw 3. Joseph Burrow barely got this one. I was so worried about it. He had 20.3 fantasy points. No, he ended up with 20.8, I think. I took the screenshot right before, I think, the last play or something. He had 20.5 or 20.8. No, 21.85, I think. He barely got it. So that one passed. And then Jamar Chase, 1 TD. He got 1 TD. So this landed me $200 off of a $10 bet. A $10 parlay on Underdog Fantasy got me, because I landed all 5, $200. It's that easy. I mean, it's hard. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's hard. Like I had about 10 tickets of 5 parlay, prop parlay, and I this is the only one I landed so far. I still have some pending Dallas ones, but I literally lost 8 in a row where I got everything right but one. And then finally on this final ticket, I landed it. And it was the one where I got the freebie of Diggs. It's hard to do it, but it's easy to land a couple of them. It's getting the combination. I challenge anybody to try it. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's fun. Go play it. As for this game, look, Saquon Barkley was fire. Danny Dimes deserves some props, and I need to take a lap for always ripping on Danny Dimes. He looks good, and Dable knows how to get the most out of him. Danny Dimes, let's give Danny Dimes. It's one thing to be like, okay, yeah, Danny Dimes is Danny Dimes, and to continue on. It's another to not acknowledge what he's doing and say, you know what? I don't know what's in store for his future. I'm not saying he's going to be some monster at all. I still don't believe that he's a top 7 or 8 quarterback potential guy or anything like that. But what a phenomenal performance by Danny Dimes. What a phenomenal string of games he's put together over the last couple weeks. Danny Dimes looks good. He looks good. Saquon Barkley looks good. The Giants look dangerous. So let's go back to my bracket. This is my bracket. I got the Buffalo game right, so let's highlight that one. I did get one wrong because I shouldn't have done it. I picked the Vikings. I shouldn't have did it. Vikings are a miss, so I'm going to go ahead and mark that one off. Now, the Giants are going to play the Niners. Or no. The Giants are going to play, I'm sorry. The Giants are going to play the Eagles because they're the worst remaining team left. And depending on the Bucs game, the Bucs may or may not. I'm going to leave this bracket off right now. Once we know what's going on tomorrow, I'll redo a version of it that's correct, and this will be mine. I'm going to keep this as a record. So I missed on the Minnesota Vikings, which changes the lineup and the order. Now because the Giants are the worst remaining seeded team, they will face off against the Eagles because they're supposed to have the easiest matchup, right? Because they got the 1 seed. The Niners will face the winner of the Dallas Cowboys Bucks, no matter who wins, because the Giants have a higher they're a worse seed. So I believe it still will be Tampa Bay that wins, but I'm gonna have to switch what I did there. But I missed. Your boy Smitty missed. And actually, we're gonna have to put it like this. Then this is probably the easiest way to do this. I'll put it in red, and then Tampa Bay. I'm still predicting I'll have to make that red if Tampa loses. But Tampa Bay is facing... What is going on here? Come on. Let me just do the good old trusty down arrow trick, because this is like pulling teeth here. Okay. And then the Niners I'm going to put right here. So this is what the bracket... If the Bucks win tomorrow, will look like me missing the Minnesota pick, me hitting the Tampa pick if Tampa wins. I do believe Tampa will win, but it'll be a very, very close game. So, definitely feeling pretty good about hitting that one parlay. Not feeling good about missing the other ones by 1, like straight down the line. I had such a good day except for 1 prop on each of those other 8 tickets. It was a crazy day, but hitting 4 of them is still impressive. 8 straight times, but it doesn't make you feel good when you literally miss out on what would have been, I don't know, like $1,400 off of about, I'd say $30 in tickets. $30 in tickets, probably like $1,200. Yeah, like probably $1,100, $1,200. But at least I got the 2 bills off that 1 ticket, and I've got a pending ticket with the Cowboys game tomorrow. I got everybody in the Dallas and Tampa game on this ticket because I didn't want to have anything, spilling over from today's games getting wrong and knocking the ticket out. So you guys can jump in and do that too. Let's talk about these players from a fantasy football perspective. So if anybody would love to get in here and talk about these players, let me see if we got any super chats. I'm going to open the phone lines up, and if you want to talk 2023, by the way, is Vamp in here? Vamp said that it's Lillian's birthday. Is it Lillian's birthday? Vamp, are you here? Let me know if you're here, Vamp. It's Lillian's birthday. Let's go! Mashed potatoes! Happy birthday, Vamp. Yeah, hopefully that message gets received. Appreciate you, Vampy. Let's see here. New York, Minnesota. What a contest. What do we think of Justin Jefferson versus Jamar Chase? I have to tell you, I'm inching toward ranking Jamar Chase as my number one wide receiver next year. I'm inching toward saying that if I pick Bijan number one overall, I don't know that JJ's locked in. I'm not saying he's not my number one wide receiver. I don't know that JJ's locked in to my number one wide receiver spot in redraft or dynasty. It might be Jamar Chase. It might be Jamar Chase because he plays with cigar-smoking Joe Burrow. And I just don't know how I feel about the Vikings. I don't know how I feel about Cousins' ability to get JJ the ball consistently. Cousins has been playing great this year. Great, if Ron Navy's in here, he's going to lose it. But the bottom line is Joe Burrow's not Cousins. Well, that's true. But Cousins is not Joe Burrow. Jamar Chase is protected. He's protected into so much more value on the consistent. And you can't really argue that coming out of 2022 because what was JJ? Even in wild card weekend play, what was JJ? Inconsistent. So I would love to hear some debates on this. Let's open the phone lines up and let's hear some JJ. When you call in, this is the topic at hand. You can ask me something after you debate this and give me your opinion. But right now, we're talking JJ versus Jamar Chase on the phone line. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
So currently, it's going to be Jamar Chase versus JJ. That will be the conversation that we have. That will be it. Hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. Let's see here. Where were we? Jamar Chase. Okay, so yeah, open the phone lines. Phone lines are open. I'm sorry I missed the first call. Phone lines are open. JJ versus Chase. That's the only topic at first that we're going to discuss. So make sure you're ready to talk about that. Let me rewrite this so it's centered. It drives me nuts. JJ versus Chase. All right, dial in. JJ versus Chase. Dynasty, redraft, let's discuss it all. First caller is Ben. Ben, you're live. I want to know. JJ, Jamar Chase, redraft. Give me just the name. Which player? Redraft. Hello? Hello? Can you not hear me? Hello? All right, let me close the phone line down and reopen it. I don't know if that was him or me. Let me just reopen this bad boy. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
All right. Dial in. Dial in. Phone line's loading. It kind of gives me a little lag until it loads. All right, Ben, try one more time. I don't know what's going on. I want to hear Jamar Chase or JJ. And if the chat would like to vote, I'll drag your responses on screen. Chase over JJ, but it's close. I'm starting to feel like maybe, Allen is like Big Ben. Those hits will pile up. Yeah, but not for a long time, bro. Not for a long time. Not for a long time. It's gonna take a minute for those hits to add up on Josh Allen. Josh Allen's also a lot more fit and in shape and a better athlete than Big Ben. Big Ben has carrying around a lot of weight. Josh Allen's much more in shape, but Josh Allen and Hurts and Fields will always be more susceptible to injury. That's why in Dynasty, Mahomes and Burrow have a slight disadvantage. Let's see here. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Ron, what's up? What's going on with my phone line? Let's see here. Ron, can you hear me? I don't know what's going on with the phone line. Let's see here. What did I do last time? Ron Navy, hold on. Hang tight. Don't hang up yet. We're going to troubleshoot this. Are you there? Let's see here. What is going on with the phone line? Hello? I don't know if I'm going to have to. This might be something to where I've got to restart my computer or something. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why I can't hear anybody. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Ron Navy, if you're listening, hang tight. Hang tight. I know what I can do. Last time I did this, I had to go into settings for some reason. I don't know if Scott... Yeah, hold on. I got to go through. Hold on one second. Audio, video. Hang tight there, Ron. Hang tight there, Ron. Ron, can you hear me? Speakers. Ron, can you hear me? Hello? I don't know what's happening. I'll have to figure it out later. Looks like we can't have the phone lines open today. Let me see if I can... Audio settings. Test. 1 2 1 2. Speakers. Ron, can you hear me? Ron, can you hear me? Oh well. Phone lines are dead for tonight. I'll have to figure that out. I don't know what's going on. That stinks. Let me see if I can get Ron on a. I'll get Ron on a Zoom or a Instagram call. Ron. I don't know. The phone lines are broken for right now, so I'm going to talk to you through here until I fix it. So, what's up?
What's up?
Did you hear the topic at hand? JJ or Chase? Chase or JJ? Is there?
Yeah, you have no sound problem listening to the live stream. Just your phone.
You could hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
No, not. I know you can hear me now, but I'm saying when you called in. You couldn't hear me?
No, I can't hear you on the phone. I can hear you on the live stream. That's
Yeah. Okay. Let me try fixing this. But answer the question while I try and work on this. Go ahead. Give me your reasoning. JJ Chase redraft. And
there is no reasoning other than you've lost your freaking mind. 1,800 yards. 1,800 yards versus a little over 1,000 yards receiving.
Chase.
Are you kidding me?
Chase got injured.
There's only one touchdown that separates them both. But 800 yards difference is a big deal.
You can't compare their totals this year when Chase missed all the time that he missed.
What are you talking about? Of course you can. I mean, if you got an injury-prone player, are you gonna not count those into the thing of who's better, who's not? Of course you are. You can't just say because they missed games that they're not.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. When you're comparing stats, you can. Like if you're saying. Yeah, you can't use stats and say they were this close apart. Like Chase missed time. If you want to say, for this year, yeah, JJ had more yardage, but there's an explanation. You can't use it as like a general. hey, he had this many more yards, and like if Chase would have played, I mean, it would have. You can't. I just can't use stats like that. I get what you're saying, but I don't think I've lost my mind at all. I think the majority of the chat is starting to get a little antsy about this ranking as well. That we just assume it's JJ because he's so talented. And I know you're super high on Cousins. I know you love Kirk Cousins, but everybody in the chat, and including me, doesn't feel as strong. Doesn't mean we don't respect him, but we don't feel as strong about him in 2023 that it's just going to be a repeat performance. And the fact that Cousins can't find him on the consistent.
Let's talk this. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, Cousins, he had a better game than Allen. He had more points than Allen. He had a better game than Burrow. Okay, Cousins, even though they lost, he had better games. They lost because of their defense. They didn't lose because of their offense per se. Okay, and when you got guys that are doubling and tripling Jefferson, of course he's not going to get this. So what do? He throws over 100 yards to Hawkinson. He uses other alternatives. The same thing. If Chase gets double, triple,
Someone try calling in and see if the phone line works.
Great of a game either. So I mean, how can you even?
But
say
Ron, here's what I'm noticing the last couple weeks about the opinions you're throwing out, which I respect. Well, hold on, we're gonna see if this phone line works. Peanut butter and waivers. Can you hear me? Peanut butter.
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Ron, call into the line. It works now.
Okay.
All right. The one thing I'm noticing about Ron's takes lately, which you guys know I love Ron and I respect Ron, but it's like it's either his way or the highway. there's no opinion anymore for some of these things with Ron. Ron, I don't know if you heard what I said, but I mean this with all due respect. You know I love your aggressiveness and your passion and all that, but it does feel like with some of your rankings and calls, it's your way or the highway. It's like this is a prediction situation where things can go 100,000 different ways. You know what I'm saying? So it's like to say that Jamar Chase over JJ is absolutely insane. I think that's crazy. I think if you like Tyreek Hill, if you like
wanted a debate.
No.
You wanted a debate.
No, I know.
You want a debate, you have to debate your guy. You can't stagger.
It's okay to like your guy.
Not that I don't like Chase. You know I like Chase. You know I like Burrow. But if you ask me my opinion and we're having a debate about it, I'm debating that.
That's fine.
JJ is better than Chase.
But you're saying you can't.
The highway.
No. I just mean in terms like it can't go the other direction. Like there's no wavering at all. I'm just saying that in this situation, and I think a lot of people agree, Jamar Chase has a better quarterback. Now, maybe you feel differently about that, but Jamar Chase has an elite quarterback that isn't going anywhere, and he's going to be a top 3 quarterback numbers-wise and NFL-wise, like real football and fake football. He's going to be a top 3, top 4 quarterback for the next decade, and these guys are together. And I think Kirk Cousins is not some kind of...
The last 2 weeks, Cousins his games have been better than Burrow.
Come on, Ron. You can't compare Cousins and Burrow for the future. You can't. You could say how good Cousins did this year, but you can't compare Cousins and Burrow for the future. They're not even close.
You know what? But with you, it's different because Cousins is an older quarterback. You never respected Cousins anyways to begin with.
Ron, come on.
You never put Cousins up there. Even Cousins could have went on and won the Super Bowl, and you'd still be down on Cousins.
No, I've given Cousins respect, but I'm not going to rank him in my top 5 quarterbacks for 2023.
But you have just as much bias on the players that you like than I do. Look at Swift. You were with Swift to the very end. Swift had 2 or 3 good games all year long. And
yeah,
you stuck with him because you love Swift.
But Ron, here's the thing. If you said you don't like Swift, what is my reaction? I can understand that. I get it. Hey, I love Pickens as a top 5 wide receiver. Ron, do you know what I would say if you said Pickens was a top 5 wide receiver next year? That's awesome. That's a cool, bold prediction. I don't agree with it, but I think it's pretty awesome. I think it's pretty awesome to have a bold take. all I'm saying, so I don't mind if you like Cousins more. I'm going to disagree with that. I'm going to disagree with that. Burrow's top 3 to me. I think he's easily top 4 to the entire world.
I disagree with you with Chase not being as good as JJ. That's what we're debating.
I'm fine
we're
with it.
not debating Burrow Cousins. We're debating
but Ron,
JJ.
I'm fine with you disagreeing with it. What I'm saying is you said that I've lost my mind because I like Chase over JJ.
Today. You're right. Ben put in the comments, Ron must have missed his picks today. I did.
He missed a what? Oh, his picks today. Okay. That's what I'm saying. You're arguing something different than me. I agree. You can disagree at any moment, and that's my whole point. I love disagreements, but I think it's crazy when we start talking about absolutes. Like, you can't be right. This has to be. Unless you're talking about, I don't know, something crazy like James Conner is better than Bijan Robinson next year.
Anything could happen. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean that could happen, but I'm going to come strong at you.
Hill could be the number 1 receiver next year.
I'm going to come strong.
Hill could have everybody next year.
Right. But I'm going to come strong at you if you say something ridiculous like that. But if you say something that's in the realms of rationale and reason, like Chase is better than JJ, JJ is better than Chase, Fields is the number 1 quarterback next year. If you say that, you know what? I don't agree with it, but I totally understand and respect that opinion. But I just think we get to a point where sometimes on the show I'll say something and somebody, and I'm not saying it's always you, but somebody will say like, you can't say, like, what do you mean I can't say Jamar Chase is better than JJ? Or how is Jamar Chase being better than JJ me being out of my mind? You answered it for me though. You missed your picks today. That's why.
Well, I have to add some drama to the debate.
Okay.
Of course I'm going to say you're out of your mind.
Okay. Well, I'm adding drama back. I'm adding drama back. We can keep going back and forth.
It doesn't mean that I don't think Chase is a great, wonderful wide receiver. He is.
Let's let Peanut Butter and Waivers weigh in on this. Is it JJ or Jamar Chase in redraft, Peanut Butter?
I'm going with Jamar Chase. And
you out of your mind?
What?
Ron, you hear this guy?
No. That's it, Peanut Butter. You go with Chase.
You hear this guy? What's this guy saying? Okay. Give us a little rationale, Peanut Butter.
Kirk Cousins is a free agent, and he cannot be tagged.
Yeah.
So we don't even know if he has a quarterback.
Even if he was to stay, though, let's say he was to stay, do you feel?
Yeah, I still got Chase.
You still got Chase. I don't blame you, because when I look at Jamar Chase and Burrow, and I kind of look at what Ron said as a positive. Not that Chase got injured, but Chase got injured in a freak injury that is not something that I expect to happen again. It was a hip issue. It was a hip. It was a very unusual injury that he remarkably played through and came back in tremendous fashion and speed. I look at what he did and I say he did that without playing X number of games and being hampered. I look at it as a positive because I don't see the injury as a reoccurring concern for me. I think Jamar Chase, I honestly right now I'm wavering on it, but I can always kind of tell when I'm going in a direction that I'm not. It's a point of no return for me. I can pretty much tell everybody right now that they're going to swap. On my rankings on thefantasyfootballshow.com, which you can get at thefantasyfootballshow.com, year-round rankings. I have a feeling I'm going to swap Chase and JJ on Dynasty and Redraft. Just flip them. Like, I still have JJ, in the top 5 overall in Dynasty. I still have JJ in the top 5 or 6 overall in Redraft. But I just don't feel secure about who's getting the football next year, as Peanut Butter mentioned. How long that's going to last, the potential situation that we could be looking at. Maybe Kirk Cousins stays. Maybe they bring in a better quarterback. We don't know. Or maybe the Vikings start rebuilding, and they know that they're going to have JJ for a long time, so you can rebuild around a guy like JJ, but it could take 1 or 2 years. And good wide receivers like him can survive even mediocre quarterback play. Maybe they bring in a Derek Carr, for a year or two, and that's going to suck, but he could get him the football. We saw him get Devontae Adams the football. So it's not like it's an end-all, be-all that there's a quarterback situation, but man, do I feel confidence and security and just a guaranteed touchdown shot every single game with Jamar Chase. And I feel like, Ron, you can speak to this next. If Cousins is so good, and I'm not saying
Back at the beginning of the game.
You what?
That's a touchdown for JJ at the beginning of the game today.
Yeah,
he had a touchdown.
That is true. But if Cousins is so good and been playing so good, why has JJ been so inconsistent lately?
He's done a phenomenal job. I mean, he does have a mediocre quarterback. I agree. He's doing great with having a mediocre quarterback.
Okay.
I like Burrow more with Chase because he does chuck it. Like, Cousins is a little hesitant to me, and he loves Hawkinson. Like, the way that Cousins beats Hawkinson kind of scares me for JJ a little bit. And just like the way that Burrow plays, it fits what Chase does as a receiver more.
Yeah, let's get some other callers to call in on this topic, but Jamar Chase. Okay, so obviously peanut butter and waivers. You say Jamar Chase in 2022 or 2023. So clearly you think Jamar Chase in Dynasty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, what's so weird is I think almost every person on the planet was thinking JJ about a month ago, without hesitation, number one overall player. It's his inconsistency lately that's driven people away, and he's been super disappointing. He crapped the bed in the playoffs. He crapped the bed in the real playoffs, in wild card weekend playoffs, the ones where all of our tickets didn't land because it couldn't catch a freaking touchdown, which was called back. You're right, Ron, but it is what it is.
But when you're double and triple teamed, how do you combat a double and triple team? If a team wants to take a player out,
the QB does waiver.
Agreed on the double teaming.
Waivers.
Agreed on the double teaming, Ron, but that won't be solved or rectified because guess what? Things are probably not getting better because Kirk Cousins played out of his mind this year. I agree with you. I don't see him doing that.
Out of his mind.
I don't see him doing that exact play next year if he stays. And I feel like the Vikings they got real lucky and a lot of things fell their way this year. They felt like paper tigers. They looked like paper tigers today. I feel like things won't fall quite the same way for Cousins. And I feel like JJ's double teams, the disappointment, the lack of touchdowns, I kind of like to think about Julio Jones as an example. Like we might see JJ have a Julio Jones type of season for a couple years in a row where there's no touchdowns to our liking. The number of touchdowns will not be to our liking, but boatloads of yardage, which, could offset some of the touchdown, lacking of touchdowns because he might have more yardage than normal. But I don't know that I think Jamar Chase could easily get 10 plus touchdowns every single season, that he plays.
Yeah, Chase had problems too. He had games where he had problems. He had problems where his feet were out in the end zone or he dropped the ball in the end zone. They've both had those type of games. Both players.
Yeah. So Ron, give me a TD prediction for JJ next year. With all that you have to predict with the quarterback situation, and give me a TD prediction for Jamar Chase.
Okay, I think Jamar Chase probably has maybe 10 touchdowns, and I think JJ maybe has 11 or 12. I think they're going to be very close. I don't think there's a big disparity between the two. I'm not saying that, but I'm not using the quarterback situation as any sort of an excuse or betterment. I think they both will probably be very close next year. I'm not taking away from Chase. I just think JJ they're both athletic. JJ's taller. JJ has a better wingspan. JJ could probably has a better pass catching radius, and JJ's better at catching those passes along the sideline than Chase is. But Chase has his own upsides too. So I think they're very close.
I'm going to say 14 TDs for Jamar Chase in 2023, and I'm going to say 7 to 9 for JJ in 2023, assuming, and that's assuming some positive quarterback situation there, you know. Maybe we'll go 7 to 10. We'll go 7 to 10. Actually, you know, we'll just put it at 10. We'll put it at 10. We'll say that, let's just say Cousins return. We'll put JJ at 10 TDs. I'm going to put Chase at 14. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing about JJ that's so good though is I'm not saying JJ. Here's the thing, I want to be very clear. I'm not saying JJ can't finish as the number one wide receiver. I think even if he had 10 touchdowns or even 9 touchdowns, he could have 1,700, 1,800 yards on a bad year versus like 2,000 on a good year, and he could have 100 and way over 100 receptions. So it can wash some of the touchdown deficiency he has comparatively to, let's say, Jamar Chase. If Jamar does have a 14 or 15 TD season and Jamar has 1,500 yards, 1,400 yards, you know, whatever, 1,600 yards, it could be anywhere in that ballpark. But I still feel more confident that this situation won't be volatile. I feel like JJ's situation could be volatile, and so while I think 1,810 with over 100 receptions is the most likely scenario for JJ year in and year out, his volatility currently right now, let's just even say it's Cousins or worse, is going to make it to where he could have much worse seasons than, whereas I think Chase will be consistent. But it's arguable. And I know it's a crazy subject, and we might even do another live stream on it because this is such a hot topic.
There's a chance that neither one of them will be the top wide receiver next year. Depending on a quarterback that goes to Miami, you could have Hill or Waddle end up number one receiver.
Adams could be number one.
Or you could have Garrett Wilson could be number one, or Olave could be number one.
Adams could be number one. Yeah, I've no doubt about that. I mean, I think they're both top five, but they're both top five. But an injury could happen.
Yeah.
All right, somebody dial in. Let's get another person in here to talk that. Hold on, let me hit the phone number line.
Call into the show. Call
but
into
the
the
thing
show.
is there's one true fact about both of this, Smitty, is you're biased towards Cincinnati, Joe Burrow, and Jamar Chase, and I'm biased towards JJ and Kirk Cousins. That's a fact.
Yeah.
I
feel like my bias is rooted in what I really believe to be true, and I'm not saying you don't feel that way about Kirk Cousins, but like I think most people when they let's get Blind Larry in on this. Blind Larry.
Yes, sir.
Redraft. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, 2023 only redraft. Who outscores the other fantasy wise?
If both stay healthy, Chase.
And what's your rationale? Are you out of your mind?
Yeah, a little bit. But no. How many games did Chase play after the injury? Compare those stats to JJ stats.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
same amount of games.
I agree. I mean, JJ tailed off. Like it's no secret JJ crapped the bed, and it wasn't for one game.
What do you have today? Like 49 yards, 42 yards.
Like Ron said, he dropped, or they called back a touchdown. But yeah, at the end of the day, doesn't matter. Yeah, he's crapped the bed like 3 games in a row. He's had a down ending to the season, and I think it's gonna influence people in an overly negative way. I think some people are going to like avoid him, and I think that's a mistake. I'm just saying I'm ready to move him to 2, and I'm ready to move Jamar to 1 because I think Jamar's gonna have a healthy season next year. I think him and Burrow fire on all cylinders, even more so than they did this year when they were together. I think the Bengals get better every offseason. They start working on the offensive line. They've been improving the defense. They're building something special, and it's already special. It's already Super Bowl caliber. It's just they're going to get a little bit better and fine tune as they go. And Joe Burrow's getting better every year too. Like he's still very young. Like last year was his first year coming back off of an ACL tear. So, this is like a, healthy year for him, and every year he is removed from that, I think he's going to get even better and better and better. Like he's still learning a lot. It's sometimes it's hard to you what?
I said, openly speaking, though, who's got more great targets? What team?
On the team, the Bengals. They're going to be in better field position all the time, more touchdown opportunities. The Bengals will clearly have.
You got to take that into factor too. I would think.
Oh yeah, field position.
Yeah.
You could say on the flip side though. You could say that since JJ's not getting touchdowns anyway, like comparatively, in my opinion, that if his team is down, they're going to be throwing in the third and fourth quarter, which will feed into the fact that he could have that 1,800, 1,700, 1,900, 2,000 yard season. So some of it could wash based on the game script too, like being consistently. But I mean, maybe the Vikings pull in a big time, signal caller. I doubt it. I kind of don't know. Maybe Cousins returns and plays very well for a couple years is tough to say. I'm sure Cousins enjoys being there, and I don't know. I'm not too sure what he's gonna what teams he could go to. Like I don't know. He certainly could be one of the three. He could certainly land in one of the three landing spots, the main landing spots we're talking about here. Let me put them up on screen. The New York Jets. Let me put it up here. Where is it? Right here. Boom. New York Jets, the Raiders, Miami. If he landed in one of these scenarios, I mean, first of all, Ron would be ecstatic if he got Devontae Adams.
Cousins isn't going anywhere.
Okay.
Cousins is going to be a Viking next year.
Ron's talked to him.
And the thing is you talk about the 4 games that Chase missed, but out of the first 5 games they played, he had 4 straight games where he was wide receiver 43, 43, 32, 33. And then towards the end against Kansas City, he was 17, and then against New England, he was 27 wide receiver overall. That's Jamar Chase this year after the injury, after and before the injury. So he didn't have as great a year as you thought he was going to have. I mean, he got stopped a lot. I mean, he had 4 straight games where he did nothing. But yet you're going to get on Jefferson for not scoring a touchdown.
What's
his first game back though? He didn't do nothing because he didn't play hardly.
What's
the first 5 games? His first 5 games, he was 43rd, 30-something, and 30-something wide receiver. That's Jamar Chase.
By the way, Vamp. I don't know if you were here earlier, but happy birthday to Lillian. Happy birthday to Lillian. I did a little standing ovation earlier. All right, let's
happy birthday.
Let's get to it here. Let's do a little ranking here. So we'll go JJ. We'll go Chase, Tyreek Hill, Adams. Name some other wide receivers you want in this top 5 ranking. Toss them out.
Gotta be top 5.
Garrett Wilson, Diggs. Couple more. Cup. Exactly.
Stung up.
St. Brown. We're running out of spots. Choose wisely.
AJ Brown.
What about Brown? AJ Brown.
Okay. Hill. I got Tyreek Hill in here.
Okay.
So we got JJ Hill, CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown. I think we're running out of spots here. Okay. So we'll go
Ron
Chase.
said AJ Brown.
Yeah. Chase.
He's got a great quarterback.
AJB, and then who else did we forget? It was Lamb. So JJ and Lamb. Okay, that we're gonna cap it there. JJ.
No Cup.
Yeah, Cup's in there.
Okay.
Okay. So let me see if I need a new marker. That one's done. Hold on. All right, let's rank these bad boys. Let's rank them. Who's that? Is that the giggler, or is that Blind Larry? Blind Larry, you sound an awful lot like Bill the Giggler. Is it Bill? No, Bill the Tickler.
I'm waiting. I want to hear Ron's picks on these. He's pretty good at that.
All right, Ron. I don't know if you want to spitball this just based on. I don't know if you guys can see the screen here, but
I can.
Okay. Ron, who's the number one wide receiver next year?
For me,
Yep.
of course I'm gonna
No,
put JJ. That's 4.
Okay. So Ron, Smitty, Blind Larry, and Peanut Butter. Okay. So Ron says JJ. I'm gonna say Chase. Blind Larry says Chase. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And Peanut Butter and waivers, you said Jamar Chase.
I got Chase 1, yeah.
Okay. Do you all three of you have JJ 2?
I do.
Ron, who do you have as number 2?
Right now, yeah. Yeah.
Who do you have as number 2, Ron?
I can't. It's hard. Hold on. I gotta.
The answer is Chase. Just kidding.
Okay. Smitty, the answer is Chase. Thank you for
There's
saying
no
my pick.
there's no debating this. Just kidding.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. Who's your number?
The answer is Chase.
Is it Chase though for you?
Yeah, I guess so. I'll go with Chase.
Okay.
I like Cup too.
Number 3. Let's go to Peanut Butter and waivers. Number 3.
AJ Brown.
Woo. Let's go to Blind Larry.
Adam.
Adams. That's not going to work. Okay, Adams for Blind Larry. I'm going to say man, part of me wants to put Cup here, but like I don't know how the state of things is. I don't know what it's going to look like in LA next year. I really do worry. But Cup is so consistent, it almost doesn't even matter. Okay, Cup's 3 for me. Ron Navy, who's number 3 for you?
Garrett.
Nice. Okay,
Wait,
number.
Garrett's on the list.
You what? What'd you say?
Garrett's
Ron?
not on the list. I would have said Garrett, but he's
No,
not on the list.
I put Garrett. I put
Oh.
Garrett. I put Garrett on the list. Ron, chill. He's right there.
Yeah, I think Garrett's going to be great.
Okay. Number 4. I'm gonna start this one. I'm gonna go with Adams. Ron, who's your number 4? You got Cup, you got Adams, you got Hill.
I'll go with Cup.
Okay.
Cup number 4.
Peanut Butter and waivers. Who's your number 4?
I'm pretty torn, but I'm going to say Adams.
Okay, Peanut Butter and waivers says Adams at 4. Blind Larry, who's your wide receiver number 4? You've got
Hill.
Diggs, Cup, Hill. Oh no, you already got Adams. Tyreek Hill. Okay.
Tyreek Hill.
All right. Blind Larry says Tyreek Hill. Smitty, Actually, let's go back to Ron. Ron, who's your number 5 wide receiver? You've got Lamb, A.J. Brown, Tyreek Hill, Adams, Diggs, and St. Brown available.
I'm going to say Tyreek Hill.
This is number 5.
Depending on if they get a good quarterback.
Larry, who's yours?
For number 5, A.J. Brown.
Okay. Peanut butter?
I got Diggs.
Who am I going with here? Man, I'm going to predict that the Jets get a big-time signal caller. I'm going to go... No, I'm gonna go Diggs on my 6th rank. Okay, I'll go 5 Diggs, and then I'll kick it off with Adams 6. Sorry, Garrett Wilson 6. Larry, you're up. Who's number 6?
Diggs for me.
Ron, who's number 6? You got A.J. Brown, Lamb,
Adams.
okay.
Adams.
All right, and waivers. Who you got?
Give me CD.
Nice. You feel bad, when you leave someone out. It's like I feel bad. I feel like I'm wronging CD Lamb right now. Okay, waivers started off. Who's number 7?
Hill.
Larry, number 7. You got Lamb.
CD Lamb.
Okay. Ron.
A.J. Brown.
I agree. I'm going to go A.J. Brown as well. Ron, who's number 8? You got Lamb left and St. Brown.
Have I said Diggs yet? I haven't done Diggs yet.
Oh, yeah. You haven't.
I'll go.
This is number 8. Okay, Diggs. I'm going to go... Man, how do I have Lamb at 8? Larry.
So.
You run out of spots. It's like it's no disrespect. It's just Larry. You've got number 8. You've got Garrett Wilson left. You got Kupp left, and you got St. Brown left. Larry, what kind of disrespect are you showing Cooper Kupp right now?
Well, because he got hurt, right? So you don't know what it's going to be like coming out.
All right.
So that's why I'm basing that on.
All right. You don't have to put him at 8 just because I'm going in. I'm laying into you here. Garrett Wilson.
No. Because I'm putting Garrett Wilson.
Okay. Waivers. Who do you want at 8? You got Garrett Wilson left, Kupp, and St. Brown left.
Amon-Ra.
There you go. Number 9 for me is going to be Tyreek. How is Tyreek Hill number 9 for me? Ron, who's number 9? Lamb or St. Brown? Larry, who's number 9? Kupp or St. Brown?
St. Brown.
Waivers. You have Garrett Wilson and Kupp left.
Give me the Moon Man.
All right. 9. So that means you have Kupp number 10. Larry, you have Kupp number 10.
I know.
I've got St. Brown.
Yeah.
Ron and
Is he going to have Baker?
How many touchdowns did he score this year?
Throwing to him?
Stafford's going to be back.
He's a free agent.
Well, we'll see how he handles out. He might get hit and go out too.
Yeah.
They still got Baker Maker.
Baker. Cooper Kupp Maker.
Y'all didn't even put Debo in there.
I said St. Brown 9. That would mean Lamb 10.
Yeah, we'll put
You
Debo
got
down.
him reversed.
St. Brown 9.
Lamb 10.
Lamb chops 10. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the reason I have St. Brown 10, and Debo's another good one to throw in here, but I think Debo proved that he's not necessarily going to be totally reliable. Plus, you know what worries me about Debo? He's carrying an awful lot of weight around. And I'm not saying he's like totally out of shape or anything, but but he's a thick boy, and he's carrying around so much weight, playing like he's a thin young man, like a Tyreek Hill, knifing around the
It
field.
looks like
He looks like a tight end, just running routes running and doing things that Tyreek Hill's doing, and it's going to add up. Debo's not staying healthy. That's why I didn't even mention Debo. St. Brown worries me because Jameson Williams is that good, and I'm not saying St. Brown can't hang on to the number 1 spot in Detroit. I'm not saying that at all. I love St. Brown. You guys know I love St. Brown, but Jameson could make this like an even Steven. Both are absolute fire, but they rotate. And that can make some inconsistency enough to put him in like the 10 range as a safety mechanism for me. Not that I don't expect or hope for 6 to 10 value out of St. Brown, but my safety mechanism is to put him around 10. Cooper Kupp for me, I have at 3 because I feel like he delivers no matter what. And the injuries are kind of freakish. It's not like it feels like he's going to linger with it or anything. Diggs was tough for me to put at 5 because I wanted to put Garrett Wilson at 6. Diggs feels. How old is Diggs? Let me look up Diggs.
Isn't he 29?
Is he that old?
Look at
I think
Ron.
he's 29.
Look at Ron. Ron, you'd always make fun of me when I'd say, "Is he that old?" At 20, he is 29, and he is turning 30 during the season in November. That's still young enough to have an elite year, and he may even have one more elite year, but that's going to be more of a skeptical, hope that he can do the second year, just because that 31, when you walk in as a 31-year-old player, and he's going to walk in, he'll walk in and turn 31. He's got 2 years left. Diggs has got 2 years left, maybe a third, but I'm gonna call it 2 years. But I still feel like Garrett Wilson could. I'm with Ron. I almost want to put Garrett Wilson 5 and Diggs 6. But Josh Allen's so good. I think I don't know. That's a tough one for me. AJ Brown at 7 feels like the injuries are kind of packaged into that one. Lamb at 8. I feel like that packages in Dallas and Dak and the kind of inconsistencies that you kind of feel like Lamb struggles with, and you're like, Lamb's so amazing and he goes on the stretch, but I still fear a little bit about him ranking ahead of these other guys, but I still like him. Like Lamb's like St. Brown. I have like a safety mechanism in place. Lamb's in my 7 to 8 ranking, hoping he drops top 4 numbers, but it kind of plans for like a string of games with Dak, either being injured or being, inconsistent. I have JJ at 2. I've got Jamar Chase at 1. I've got I think Adams at 4 because I think Adams gets one of the best passers that are on the move in 2023 in the offseason here. Let me pull up that list one more time. I believe that Lamar, A-Rod, or Brady will be throwing footballs to Devontae Adams. One of these 3 quarterbacks will be throwing footballs to Devontae Adams. So to me, that makes Adams a locked-in top 4 wide receiver for me. Well, anybody? Let's go to Ron. Ron, do you have anything you want to add about the rankings on the board here? Your ranking, just maybe 1 or 2 players.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. This is off the ranking. If Olave and Pickens knock a couple of these guys out, are in the top 10.
Yeah. Olave could definitely. Olave. You know what I would almost put is instead of Debo, I put Olave at this 11 spot to kind of flirt with the idea of getting up in the mix. I put Olave right there. I don't know if you can see that. That's what I would do. I'd throw Olave right there. Pickens, the only reason, Ron, I don't like Pickens is because of Pickett. Not that Pickett can't get there. I'm not saying Pickett's garbage. I just don't know how I feel about Pittsburgh and Pickett right now. Right now. Not saying in a year that can't change, but I feel like Pickens is a little bit held back until things are fluid and the running game's back. Najee looks like his old self. Everything.
It's already there. You saw that at the end of the season. Look at the game. Look at the winning streak they had to go on just to get a winning season. They won like their last 5 games.
Yeah,
And,
in football
Pickett,
context, yeah.
we knew this was going to be Pickett. We knew it was going to be a growing year for him, just like the second-year quarterbacks. He's going to smoke it next year.
I like Pickett. I don't know about like what smoke it. What do you mean smoke it? Where you got Pickett ranked? Like quarterback what?
I think realistically, I think next year Pickett could be top 14 quarterback.
Well, that's more like casual smoking, bro. I don't know if that's smoking, but look, Pickens. I really like Pickens. I've even told you, Ron, and I've told everybody that's watched a certain live stream or two where I've mentioned it. Pickens could end up on the Moon Man list. I really, really like Pickens that much. And Ron, you and I liked him pretty much more than anybody I could find walking into the season. I have Instagram posts where I'm being called a fool because I said Pickens is the number, like before, this is before I think even the third preseason game. I said Pickens is the number one wide receiver in Pittsburgh as a rookie and for the future. And people just lambasted me in the comments. This guy doesn't watch football. Like I love that one. This guy, you could at least say you're wrong, but to say I don't watch football, like that's a little bit insulting. But this guy doesn't watch football. Don't they know? Doesn't he know Deontay Johnson's like? Are you an idiot? Like, do you even have a working, functional brain? But so I think Pickens is the guy. He's the number one wide receiver there. Deontay Johnson, who? Exactly what I said in the offseason. Deontay Johnson, who? When Trubisky's in there, he kind of emerges, right? But when he's not in there, we don't know who he is. Drops the football all the time. He's not consistent. He's not a reliable guy. He's not a number one wide receiver. He played like that under the peppering of Big Ben, who gave him like 17,000. You what?
He's definitely not getting you any touchdowns.
Yeah, Vamp has a super chat here. Let's hear a bold prediction on rookie wide receivers. Vamp, I appreciate the super chat. That video is coming. I don't want to ruin any of the rookie content coming, so please hang tight on that. It's coming within days, okay? I'm doing the rookie running back videos right now, and I'll do the wide receivers right after, and I'm going to crank them out. So hang tight on that. If you want a bold prediction on the RBs, if you guys came from the live premiere, we announced the fourth Moon Man. So here's a bold prediction for you.
The Moon Man, dropping loads in outer space.
There you go. Gibbs is now on the Moon Man list, and depending on where he goes, you're going to get a lot of Alvin Kamara-like production. The good Alvin Kamara, the Alvin Kamara we all remember and love, not the one that is probably about to get a 6 to 8 game suspension for 2023 and looks like he's falling off a cliff. So RBs, I got some more RB rookie stuff coming out. Get ready for that. And then I think we're going to have another Moon Man. I can't do a Moon Man every week because we'll run out of spots. But I think I might do another Moon Man within the next 7 days, if not 2 days. And maybe another one at the same time almost. There might be 2 more Moon Men. Then we may take a little pause as long as I can pause. When it comes to me, I go to the mountains and I wait for the signals. And when the clouds speak to me, I just got to come out and announce the Moon Man. But I think we'll definitely have 2 Moon Men within the next 7 days.
Here's a question for you, Smitty. If Aaron Rodgers stays in Green Bay, do you think Watson ends up being a top 10 wide receiver next year?
If Watson stays in Green Bay, first of all,
if A-Rod stays in Green Bay.
If A-Rod stays in Green Bay. If A-Rod stays in Green Bay, he will be a top 5 to 10 wide receiver. We'll go 6 to 10. We'll say 6 to 10 wide receiver. He would be on this list if we knew he was there. Jordan Love makes him Olave-esque in terms of rank for me. So this Olave, Watson, right here at this 11 spot, I do have Watson in this territory. And you'll be hearing a lot more about Watson in the coming weeks. But Watson, for me, with Jordan Love, still is an attractive top potential 10 wide receiver, but we need that, like St. Brown, like Olave, Christian Watson. We need to have a little bit of that, as I keep saying, safety mechanism packaged into his ranking and ADP to account for not a total disaster in losing your league because you're drafting him like a top 7 wide receiver. We can talk about him as a top 6 to 10 wide receiver, but I think ranking him or drafting him there is reckless, even though I expect him to be that good if A-Rod's there. I think if A-Rod returned, if it was like for sure he returned, you would see the fantasy football community as a whole start ranking him around 9 to 14 overall for wide receivers. Like he would flirt inside people's top 10 immediately. Like people aren't like missing the boat on him. But I think right now you have an opportunity to trade for him because people will be under the assumption that with Jordan Love he'll be nothing, and with Aaron Rodgers he'll be amazing. And so if you can trade for him in Dynasty right now, or let's say you drafted really, really early for whatever dumb reason, or you do best ball drafts, Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty, as soon as those drafts open up, let's say the early drafts, you start grabbing a whole bunch of, let's see, where were we? A whole bunch of Christian Watson before you realize what's happening with Aaron Rodgers or whatever, then you're gonna get a lot of value. So I do recommend acquiring Watson right now because even if, let's say, A-Rod retires or gets traded, I think the value you're getting Watson in is still a little bit better than the value he will hold if Jordan Love's throwing the football to him. And if it's Aaron Rodgers, you hit a home run. It's baked in, baby. Yeah, Watson and Olave and Garrett Wilson, I love walking into 2023. It's crazy how good the sophomore wide receiver class ended up being. You know, I mean, we haven't talked about Pickens yet. We didn't talk about Pickens yet. In that
London.
Without giving away too much, you could see London, Pickens. I'd hate to put the entire sophomore wide receiver class on the Boom Man list, but you could see any one of those guys on there. You could see any one of them. It is in hindsight, it will be one of the best wide receiver classes. It's going to be like, it's just going to be, we're going to be in awe of it. We're going to say, can you believe, like, London isn't even being talked about right now. He could be the second or third best on the entire list if he got an elite quarterback throwing him the football. Problem is, London won't. They'll draft somebody. But maybe they trade up and they get Bryce Young, they get Stroud, they get one of these quarterbacks through a trade. They trade up and they get one of them, and then in a year and a half or a year or maybe maybe week 10 of the first season, maybe that quarterback is looking so good they are the next Fields or Joe Burrow or whatever, because Stroud or Bryce Young could become a top 6 quarterback. They really could. Both.
Yeah, I think Bryce Young could.
They won't give Ritter any more chances. I mean, he only had part of the year. Not even. It's just like the tail end of the year.
What draft pick was he? Ritter?
Ritter was a third-round pick.
Yeah, see, that's not enough. That's not enough to fend off a Bryce Young or a Stroud. It's not one of those. That's not a draft selection where you're like, we got to give him one more year. We look stupid. This is like we took him, and he's now our backup because we're taking Bryce Young. I don't know. If he was like a late first rounder or something like that, it'd be even a little bit different. But I think only when you take like a first round quarterback or even a top 15 quarterback are you ever obligated by the social norms to give him a full like chance, or you look ridiculous with your drafting skills. I don't think.
Here's the question. Is I mean, I don't think the Saints are going to stay with Dalton, and I don't think they're going to stay with Winston.
So So what do you think New Orleans does for a quarterback? Because, I mean, that's what they really need. Quarterback and another running back for Kamara. They need those two things. And with Olave and the rest of the talent they got a pretty decent defense.
Yeah, I mean they will definitely, I think, be in the Bryce Young and Stroud business. They will definitely be looking to acquire one of those two signal callers if they can move up and acquire them. So the NFL draft order is as such. Here's the draft order right here. You'd have to move into Cardinals aren't taking a quarterback. Texans could definitely take a quarterback. The Bears, they act like they could take a quarterback. They're posturing to try and trade the pick, I'm sure. So let's call the Texans, the Colts, and the Seahawks almost guaranteed locks to grab Stroud or Bryce Young. Not to mention that Bear pick is going to introduce and inject another team that's probably going to take it. So quite arguably, that Bear pick could end up being the Falcons or the Panthers or the Raiders or whatever, and then the Texans take the second quarterback. We could literally have Stroud or Young go 1 and the other go 2. So New Orleans would have to climb into the top 2 to guarantee themselves, and maybe the Bears pick. Maybe the Bears pick's how they do it. They'd have to get that 1 pick in order to, I think, New Orleans to secure one of those top 2 quarterbacks, because the Texans are taking 1, I think. I mean, they benched Mills. Like, to say Mills earned his job back and he avoided a rookie QB coming in to take his job I think that's a fairy tale. Because they benched him, he came back and he played a little well at the end of the year, but that job is not his. And the Texans have, they've been building pretty well. That's new management. Here, you guys continue. I got to take this call real quick. Talk about the first overall pick, Ron.
The first overall pick for next year?
The 101.
I think we've already. I mean, you guys would take Chase. I'd take JJ probably. Some people are going to take CMC again, I think. CMC's going to be up there, first overall pick. What do you guys
I think CMC and Eckler are going to be the main picks for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And a couple Barclays.
Smitty said that he wouldn't touch Eckler for nothing because of his age. So,
well, not us, but people who just look at the stat sheet and see 100 catches next to Eckler.
Oh yeah,
they're going to be taking him high.
I agree, because Eckler, I mean, people are going to look at that and they're not going to view things like Smitty views it, because Smitty puts a big emphasis on age, especially on running backs. And if they hit a certain age, then
they're done. They're done.
So,
They're write them off.
But the general public that don't listen to Smitty, that don't watch the show, that just go in there and draft, Eckler's still going to go in the first round in a lot of drafts.
I think, and rightly so, and I take a lap on expecting Derrick Henry's decline to hit before the season ended. Although I did call his downfall the year before, but or his injury the year before. I think that Derrick Henry having success at 28 years of age will have people thinking that Eckler could do it too. But the problem for me is that Eckler's not a big back. And while being big is also a problem because there's a lot more weight to carry around. So I think it was amazing that Derrick Henry did what he did at 28 years old. And I don't think he does it at 29. I think that's the exception to the rule. And while there's still a percentage chance that Eckler could also be the exception, the second exception to the rule, it's certainly possible. And I even said that Derrick Henry, there's a 20% chance Derrick Henry could have a full elite season. I just said at top 5 value, 20% was a costly, that was not a high enough number. I think Eckler probably has a similar 20%, 25% chance of playing one more elite season, but I'm going to avoid that risk at 28 years of age at his size with his injury history, with the fact that literally he came into the league as a Alvin Kamara hybrid type back, and they've been just feeding him the football between the tackles. He's always kind of banged up, even though he played relatively healthy all year. He's a concern for me. I really think if you are presented with good value, I am going to draft him, but I'm going to trade him at some point during the season because I think he could start off great.
Here's the other thing to take under consideration, because after that fiasco game yesterday when they lost, we all looking at the head coach there could be fired. So if he does get fired, they bring in a new head coach, and he switches up schemes. If the offense switches up, we don't know how that's going to affect Eckler either.
All right, let's see. Peanut butter waivers. You have one last thing you want to say before I boot you off?
All right, about Eckler. My thing is he got all these catches this year because Allen and Williams was hurt, and the left tackle, Rashawn Slater, was hurt all year. So Herbert had to dump the ball off. So next year, all those guys will be back. They'll be pushing the ball down the field. Eckler's not it. Anyway, have a good one.
Thanks, Peanut Butter. Appreciate you. Is Blind Larry still here? Blind Larry, give me one last thought on anything. Eckler, whatever. Give me one last thought before I boot you.
No, good to boot.
Nothing? You got nothing? Eckler, are you a believer one more year or not?
Nah, I don't think so.
All right. Appreciate you, Blind Larry.
All right,
good job on the ranking, pal. Later.
All right, buddy.
Don't kick up the door.
Ron, you got anything else?
No, I think we've had our good debate.
Yeah, it was friendly. It was good. I'm always good for a debate. I just like getting into the rationale of the debate too, to make sure it's on the same page, which we are. It was funny. You bravely admitted some of the reasoning of your coming in hot on it was the pick'ems. It was a rough pick'em day at the same time as being a really good one. Like I hit so many things, Ron. Every ticket was 4 out of the 5. You know, I had the wrong combinations on every single ticket except for the last one. It was I was so down for a majority of the games because this ticket hit here, but I had all of these combinations on different tickets, and it was just one thing. And it wasn't that I was like dead wrong on it. It was like, what was the big one that burned me on so many? JJ 1 touchdown. It got called back. That burned both of us. That killed. That lost me about $300 on, I would say about $20 worth of props. I had dropped $20. I would have won $300 on that JJ touchdown. And then what was the other one where I needed Diggs, right? Diggs had 114 yards, but his fantasy points and yeah. In the second half, I needed 1 fantasy point from him. Or maybe did he catch something in the second half? I forget.
No, he ended up with 114 yards.
I needed 1 fantasy point from Diggs in the second half, and I would have won another, I would say $400 off of about $20 worth of so about 4 props. Yeah, 10. It would have been at least $400 or $500 off of 1 point. All he had to do was get 1 catch for 0 yards. 1 catch for because I think he needed, it was like half a point, but I needed 1 catch, 1 point to go over the top, or like half a point to like tie it or whatever. Couldn't get it. It was such a frustrating day to land all those things, but just have that one off. If I would have done insurance on every one of my picks, Ron, I would have had $800. I think.
Yeah. Oh, hey, before we go, how you looking as far as the mitten and the gauntlet going into tomorrow's game?
Let's see. I've got some pending players for the gauntlet, so I don't know yet, but I'm in second place in, I think, 3 of my 4 gauntlet 2s, but those aren't placing.
Right. You got to get in first place to
Yeah.
get through on that one.
Yeah. So,
And then
so I got 3 of the 4 are in second place, but I have a couple pending players, so we'll see if I end up squeezing in.
the mitten 2 is like that too. You only the first place team advances, but now the mitten 3 and the mitten 4, they're taking the top 2 advance.
Look at my
So
look at my mitten 2s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think 8 or 7 of the top. Yeah, 7 of them are. I'm in first place. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of them I'm in first place on the mitten 2s. And then I'm in a couple third places and a second. And then and that's mitten 2. Mitten.
And I got in the mitten 2.
Mitten 4, I've got a first and 2 seconds. Mitten 3, I've got 2 firsts and I think 2 seconds. Yeah. And then 2, 3. Mitten 1, I've got 2 second places. So we're doing good on the mittens. Mittens are doing
Mitten
real.
4, I have 3, 4, 5 firsts and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 seconds, and a couple of thirds thrown in there.
Yeah.
And then mitten 3, I only did 11 in there, but I got 1, 2, 3, 4 second places in the mitten 3. The mitten 1, I get 1 team in there and 1 team in first.
Yeah.
And then
Vamp, you still here?
the mitten,
Sorry, go ahead, Ron.
the gauntlet, I got 1 in first place with 106 points. That was the one I told you about that I drafted at the last minute.
Yeah.
And I got that Daniel Jones and Hodgins combination, which killed it. I mean, that was huge for me.
Yeah. All right, Ron.
But the other gauntlet,
The other gauntlet.
I had 1 in first place, but it went away. So I don't think I'm gonna get any in, because I only drafted 4 in the main gauntlet, in the first gauntlet, and I don't think I'm gonna get any in.
All righty, Ron Navy. Appreciate you calling in.
All right, later.
Later, pal. Vamp. Can you wish Jill a happy birthday? She's a big fan.
Let's go, mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy. Happy birthday, Jill. Appreciate you. Thank you very much for watching and being a fan there, Jill. Thank you. What a day. What a day. Let's open the phone line for just a couple more calls. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
We'll take a few more calls and then we'll be out of here. Appreciate the super chats tonight, Vamp, and the rookie wide receiver content's coming, I promise. I just don't want to spoil any of it. It's going to be coming out very, very soon. So wait upon that. Appreciate you, Vampy, for all that you do. Vampy, he funds this marker project here. We got these markers are from Vamp. Vamp super chats account for all marker situations. Vamp doing it again. Look at Vamp. Thank you, Smitty. You're the best. You're the best, Vamp. Vamp, $20 hauler.
Let's go, mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy. Where are the dollars, bro? Hold on. We need more than this. Vampy, dropping the the super chat, Vamp. Appreciate you. Okay. Also, I don't know. I got this this right here. How do you guys like this setup? This is a little standing Smitty. I haven't done this a whole lot yet, but I do enjoy standing a little bit. So I'm going to be doing this more. It makes me have to reach over. I don't have quite the setup to bounce back and forth, but love this show, love this community. The community loves you back, Vampy. Appreciate you. Ron Navy says, what's up, E111? Blind Larry dropping the mashed potatoes. Marker Fund for sure, Mitch. Appreciate you. Terry Roberts dropping a 20 wad. Terry Roberts.
Let's go, mashed potatoes!
Hold on, Terry. Yeah, buddy. There you go. Hold on, Terry. I gotta find where all the bling went. I think it's in here somewhere. Terry Roberts in the house. I'm getting a new money gun, by the way. All right. Terry Roberts dropping the 20 wad. Terry says, thank you for all that you do for all of us, pal Smitty. Thank you. Appreciate you, Terry. You are the man. Terry Roberts in the house. Terry's on patrol, baby. All right, that's going to probably do it for today. Josh Allen. Unbelievable game. A little left to be desired in some ways from a fantasy perspective. Diggs did really well in the first half, crapped the bed in the second half. Waddle was very disappointing to a degree, and then he came back and exploded. So it depends on if you were doing any first half situational props or whatnot. Came back, did well, but man, he was so disappointing for half of football. And then Tyreek Hill looked like he was going to have a better game, and then he crapped the bed. So it was like Waddle ended up coming around. Tyreek Hill didn't. How do we judge that situation for 2023? Who's going to be the signal caller in Miami in 2023? Let's give it up for Miami Mike, who did a whole lot with a little. He had his third string quarterback, made a playoff game, almost beat the Buffalo Bills, which would have been shocking. Joe Burrow was phenomenal at the end of the day, but the Bengals almost lost. You know, they almost lost. It was kind of a crazy game. Baltimore put up a good fight. They were down quarterback. Like, imagine if Lamar and Tua, like a well-playing Tua, healthy, well-playing Tua were there. What would we have seen? Would we have seen Miami knock off the Buffalo Bills? Would we have seen Baltimore with Lamar Jackson beat the Bengals? I mean, for these two quarterbacks, Skylar Thompson and Tyler Snoop Huntley, for these two guys to put up a big enough fight to scare Bill fans and Bengal fans, it's got to make you wonder what would have happened if these better signal callers were in there. So kind of a crazy day, to be honest. All in all, Vikings losing. I feel like, looking back on my bracket, it was so easy to see. I know hindsight's always 20/20, but you know, we said it from the beginning. They're paper tigers. Why did I pick them? They're paper tigers. Why did I pick them? The Giants, it's like a fairy tale ending, because I do believe this is the end of the line for them. But if anybody can do it, it's stable. If anybody could do it right now, Danny Dimes feels like maybe he could do it. Like, this is a Cinderella, like, part of the season for him. He's done so well on the way out and into the playoffs already. Maybe Danny Dimes pulls off a miracle. Who knows? So, on to tomorrow night's game. It's going to be a fun game. Make sure you get on over to Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. And deposit up to, you'll get $100 up to $100 bonus match on your deposit if you go to Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. So, you know, get on over there and do that. Link in the description. Link in the live chat. I pinned it. go get your prop on and drop a prop on this contest on the Cowboys. Drop a prop on CeeDee Lamb going over, I think it's like 13.5 or something fantasy points, which is a pretty good one. That's why they play the game. That's right. Dallas dominates tomorrow and still won't get any credit, says Eddie. You never know, bro. Miami Mike is hitting the pen during the game. Might have been vaping. Smitty can't get an honest opinion on Waddle for next season. Or can you get an honest opinion on Waddle for next season? I like him a lot. He worries me a little bit how much injury concern, how much injury concern there is with him. Like I feel like he always gets hurt. I really like him. I think Miami is such an attractive landing spot for a signal caller, as I've gone over and over the last couple episodes. I think one of these signal callers is in Miami. I think one of these signal callers is in Las Vegas. I don't know if one of them will be in New York. This is like my best case scenario for quarterback movement. I think one of these three will be in these two locations, though, or at least something else happens that's pretty darn good, whether it's a trade or whatever. So I believe Devontae Adams his value safe. I think these two Miami wide receivers, Tyreek Hill and Waddle, attract me. Two of the best wide receivers in the entire National Football League. You could argue the best duo in fantasy football, or you could argue the best duo for an elite quarterback in fantasy football if an elite quarterback lands in Miami. Look how good Tua played. We had the Tua goggles. We made fun of Tua at the beginning of the year as being a quarterback that wasn't going to get it done, and he got figured out. I really do believe he was more in line with what we had thought at the beginning of the offseason than he was an elite top 5 quarterback. Miami Mike is just that good of a coach. His scheme is that good. His scheme designed and created Deebo Samuel, essentially. He gets ripped over into Miami, does the exact same thing over in Miami. Hill and Waddle, Tua, it was a phenomenal season. Miami Mike in the playoffs with a third-string quarterback, Skylar Thompson, almost won the game. Almost beat the Buffalo Bills. So Miami Mike is going to lure in either A-Rod or Lamar or Tom Brady via, it's not going to be that hard to get Tom Brady in Miami if he wants to play again. I think there's a lot of places Tom Brady could play. I think there's a lot of places Aaron Rodgers could end up. I think Lamar gets to go wherever he wants, assuming they don't tag him and refuse to trade him in Baltimore, which could happen. So my honest opinion is I believe Lamar or someone like that's throwing the football to Waddle. So I love Waddle, Vampy. I think Waddle's got really good value. Dynasty value is good. 2023 value is good. I'm a little worried about injury. His ability to get injured really quickly, but Carr to the Colts, they've said that that's probably not going to happen, but they could take that back. It feels like it's something that would happen for sure. Some people think Brady is winning it. He could. Ronaldo, I'm not saying it's likely, but he certainly could. Danny Dimes, who was it? Was it Heating Up Podcast or Healing Meditation Healing guy? Which one was in here that dropped a super chat that said the Giants to the Super Bowl? And I kind of chuckled. I'm not saying they're going to go to the Super Bowl, but look, they played really well today, and they can beat anybody at any one moment. I just don't know if they'll put enough of those games together to go the distance. But let's give Miami some credit, and kudos to you for believing that they were going to win that game. Dallas wins because I think Pollard is going to have a huge game. Yeah, hopefully. I love Pollard. It'll be so interesting to rank and know where Pollard's going to be next year. All right, guys, I appreciate every single one of you. Hit that thumb up button on your way out the door. Please hit that thumb up button. Please leave a comment. I respond to pretty much every comment on the channel right now because it's kind of toned down a little bit and I can get to more comments. If you leave a comment on a video that's like 24 to 48 hours fresh, so like any of my last like couple videos that are up, I'll pretty much get back to every single question. So test me. Leave me a question. Leave me a comment. Hit the thumb up button. Help your boy Smitty because comments help my engagement. Let's grow the channel. And please get on over to the Dynasty channel if you haven't already. I'm going to drop the Dynasty link in the live chat right now. It's also in the description if you're watching this video later on the replay. Please hit this link right after the show or right now and subscribe to the Dynasty channel, because we will be going live on the Dynasty channel pretty much every day. I'm going to try and do some stuff this weekend. I'll be on vacation on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. That doesn't mean I won't be live at some point or put together a couple videos. But I will be taking a mini vacation on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So stay tuned for that. I may be doing the show, just a real quick show, each of those days. We'll find out. We'll figure it out. I appreciate every single one of you. I'll see you all later. Get after it. Get on your horse. Make your trades. Go after Gibbs. Go after the 1.1 and 1.2 in your rookie drafts.
The Moon Men, dropping loads in outer space.
Go get your Bijan at 1.1 and your Jahmyr Gibbs at 1.2.
Space Monsters.
Go get it done. Appreciate you all. Later, Klondike. Later, G Money. Later, Adam. Later, Terry, Thomas, Mitch, Eddie, Vampy, E111. Thank you, G Money. Appreciate you, man. Terry Roberts, Travis Rowe, Mitch Cole, Ron Navy, Blind Larry, East Coast Tatty, Marty, Fantasy Dad. Appreciate you, Fantasy Dad. Eddie Collects, appreciate you. When you come to California, let me know. I'll hook you up and little Smitties. Where are you at, Vampy? I'll be in California on Tuesday. I might be maybe I'll do something. Somebody finds me. Somebody finds me at at Disneyland. They'll get a free something. Later, Thomas. Later, Jarrett. I'll be right around the Disneyland area on Tuesday, Vampy. Yeah, Thomas, go check out the Dynasty content right now. There's Dynasty content up waiting for you, Thomas. The link is in the live chat. Go hit it up. All right, Vampy. All right, peace out, everybody. People are getting burrowed left and right, and people are going to remember it.